Oh my god.
Bitches the sea, smoking on dick, she not better than me. Pop a little birdie, you speak with a beak. Send your location, then Uber them.
Hey everybody, this is Miss NC Bound and I'm back with another video for Can We Talk To? I want to bring this story to everybody's attention. This young lady who's on the screen, her name is Kei'Mani Latigue, and this story comes out of Toledo, Ohio. And of course, we are not getting the news media attention for these cases. So I feel it's my duty to highlight a lot of these cases that I come across on social media and the news. So again, let me tell you a little bit about this young lady. Kei'Mani was a 7th grader at Spring Elementary School. She was just days away from her 14th birthday at the time of her death. A spokesperson for Toledo Public Schools said Kei'Mani was set to be giving a kindness award later this week and had recently been recognized at the school's honor roll assembly. The students and staff at Spring Elementary are saddened by the loss of their friend and classmate, Kei'Mani Latigue, a TPS spokesperson said. Kei'Mani will be remembered as being very personable and someone who got along well with others. The teen's mother, Tiara Caston, said Kei'Mani would only ever go to school, play basketball, and go home. She spoke to 13 Action News reporter Alexis Means at the scene of the abandoned home, recalling the last time she's spoken to her daughter. I seen her on the 15th. Her dad brought her down to my house. Apparently, my mother gave him permission, and honestly, it was just loving on my kid. We played video games, Caston said. The Greater Toledo community created a makeshift memorial in Kei'Mani's honor at the abandoned house on Miami Street. Those who loved her, along with complete strangers, left candles, stuffed animals, and messages of love and support. I'm a grandmother and I have a daughter, and I just couldn't imagine, Lori Hicks, who visited the memorial, said Tuesday. I'm so hurt behind it. I didn't even know the little girl, but I think the community came out, reached out, and is going to support her. People who gathered Tuesday said they want to show some love to a family and the community that is hurting. Community organizers said they plan to hold an event on Friday to commemorate what would have been Kei'Mani's 14th birthday. Okay, so that's a little backstory on this beautiful young lady who tragically lost her life. And I will go into more specific details on what happened to this young lady. The teen's family reported her missing from her home in the 2000 block of Elm Street just before noon on March 18th, police reports said. Her grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, told 13 Action News in an interview last week that the two live alone in the Elm Street home. Dorothy told officers that her granddaughter did not show up for school and that her phone was going straight to voicemail. She said that she was out of the norm for Kei'Mani, police reports said. Dorothy told 13 Action News last week that the teen hadn't been seen since the night of March 16th. When Dorothy came home from work in the morning of March 17th, she found the door was unlocked and the house was in disarray. She said the stove was on and she could smell gas, adding that Kei'Mani keys and glasses were still at the house, but the girl can't see without her glasses. Other than her and I, it's just 2 dogs in the house. So who cut it on? So what was kind of suspicious? Her glasses and her underclothes were by the couch in the front. Her pajamas were on the dining room floor, Dorothy Latigue said. The day 13 Action News spoke with Dorothy, we also spoke with Kei'Mani's father, 33-year-old Darnell Jones, who goes by Darnell Ogletree. He has since been charged with murder in the teen's death. Jones said he saw Kei'Mani the night of March 16th, claiming the 13-year-old called him to say she was afraid to be home alone. I came over there because she said it seemed like somebody was trying to break in the house. Me and my cousin sat over there for an hour and we left around 12:30, Jones told 13 Action News. Throughout the week, family and friends handed out flyers to neighbors and asked the community to keep an eye out for the girl, even organizing a search party on March the 21st. Authorities filed an abduction charge against Jones and issued a warrant for his arrest on March 23rd. Charging documents said Jones was the last person with Kei'Mani before she went missing and alleges he gave inconsistent statements about her location and what he did with her. The following day, investigators found Kei'Mani Latigue's body on the second floor of an abandoned, burned house on Miami Street near Wilmont on March 24th. Once Kei'Mani's body was found, authorities also charged Jones with murder and felonious assault. Law enforcement agencies were still looking for him. Police in Columbus found Jones on March 25th and shot him during a confrontation in which he allegedly pulled a gun on officers. He was hospitalized and in stable condition. Prosecutors filed additional charges against Jones in Franklin County. He was originally scheduled to be in court on a felonious assault police officer charge on March 26th, but his arraignment was postponed because he was still in the hospital. As officials in Columbus detailed the SWAT shooting, Ben Steele with the FOP, which is the Fraternal Order of Police, said that Kei'Mani Latigue's case is one of the most horrific cases he'd heard of, saying she had been raped, had her hands cut off, and her throat nearly cut off. Authorities in Toledo have not filed any charges related to a SA in the case at this time. An autopsy on March 25th determined she passed away of multiple incisive wounds of the neck, according to the Lucas County Coroner's Office. Officials have yet detailed a motive in the case. Toledo Mayor Kapsu Kizowitz said in a statement that city officials will continue to work with Columbus officials to find justice for the young girl. Toledo's police chief thanked members of both police departments for their hard work and dedication in getting justice for Kei'Mani. Okay, before I proceed, this is a terrible, terrible awful case where, somebody did that to their own daughter. Somebody who had a hand in creating this beautiful young girl just to take her away, and there's just stories like this break my heart, but I know how important it is to get it out because a lot of it is not broadcast on news media. Like I didn't hear about this case until I started searching the internet, and for some reason it just came up on my timeline, and I thought to do a video of it. It's a shame that, you know, you have these young people who don't even have adults in their life to help protect them. I mean, it's awful. It literally breaks my heart that this young girl trusted her father, and allegedly her father is the one that took her away from people who did love her. I mean, oh man, I just don't know what to say. But again, I just felt it was important to bring this story to you guys. So let me read some of the latest updates that we have. The Brown Legacy Memorial Funeral Home will no longer be holding the funeral services for Kei'Mani, but the community donations made throughout the week will be transferred to the next funeral home. Well, I would like to know, why wouldn't the funeral services, I hope it wasn't the funeral home that decided not to have it, or maybe it's because, it was so many people who loved this little girl, they wanted a bigger venue to hold her memorial service. But I hope it wasn't anything malice on the funeral home part. Lucas County Children's Services said the agency investigated multiple reports regarding the care of Kei'Mani Latigue, but never found any evidence that would lead to removing the girl from her home. Again, we see so many of these stories where children protective services were called, or they even investigated, but at that particular time the investigation happened, there was nothing that raised a red flag for child protective services to actually remove the child. So then the child is left in the custody of, the parents, where the abuse, continued. And in this case, her young life was snatched away. I just wish that Child Protective Services would have kept investigating, maybe interviewed other people, maybe in the neighborhoods, just to see if there were any red flags that they could have given the Child Protective Services to maybe stay on the case for a little longer, and possibly save this little girl's life. One of Kei'Mani's former teachers told 13 Action News that school staff reported concerns of possible abuse to children's services on multiple occasions. She said the young girl was with a different guardian at the time. The agency said none of the documents in the case are public record and declined to comment at this time. Toledo council members are seeking answers and calling for accountability. Again, so to me, it seems like, there's been multiple calls to Children Protective Services, even from the school itself, because they've seen, first of all, they are mandate reporters. So if they see any type of abuse on any student, by law, they have to call and report it. So apparently, the school did what they were supposed to do, just like I'm sure other people who have been around Kei'Mani have seen some sort of signs that maybe everything was not all right at home, and called it in. But again, at the time that Child Protective Services investigated, there were no signs of it. So they just can't come in and snatch a child away from their home based on statements from people. They have to thoroughly do an investigation, and once that investigation is completed, and if there are any signs, then they have the right to remove a child. But sadly, during their investigation on their part, they didn't see anything, so they couldn't remove the child. I just wish there was, I don't know, something else they could have done to get this child removed. But it's almost like you're in between a rock and a hard place. You're doing your job, but you can only do your job based on the information that you have and that you see. And if there weren't any reasons to remove the child from a home where you don't see any evidence of abuse, then there's really nothing they can, Child Protective Services can do in that instance. So let me proceed. So the arraignment in Columbus for Kei'Mani's father, Darnell Jones, was postponed as he is still hospitalized following Tuesday's shooting. Authorities could not say when he would be extradited back to Toledo. An autopsy determined Kei'Mani Latigue died of multiple incisive wounds of the neck, according to the Lucas County Coroner's Office. The Columbus FOP, which is the Fraternal Order of Police president, said the 13-year-old was AR'd and had her hands cut off. Authorities in Toledo have not filed any charges related to a SA in the case at this time. So again, this is just a very heartbreaking story, and I hope that everybody who was involved, who knew something and did not say anything that could have protected this child, I hope they were also charged and go to court as well, and arrested and sentenced, and all of the above. Everybody who has let this little girl down. Just let me know what you all think of this video. Drop your comments in the comment section, and I will be back with another video. Later, y'all.